A new car. Someone just signed on the dotted line and became the proud new owner. Of course, they want their new car to look just like they do in the brochure. Chrysler Corporation has a program that gives the owners of new cars an extra measure of assurance that their car will be something they can take pride in when they drive it away from the dealership. It's called the Customer Assurance Program. It begins at the dealership. Dealers across the country are being made aware of their role in making sure the customer receives his or her new car in a state of condition they can be proud of. The opening paragraphs of the book sent to the dealer lay it right on the line. You must deliver to the customer a quality vehicle, a clean vehicle as mechanically perfect as possible in order to reflect in the customer's eyes the image of quality for the corporation, your dealership, and yourself. This is a very profound statement, but there's a lot of substance to back it up. A customer expects a new car to be safe. And the government demands it. The same goes for emission controls. A car must run clean. If it doesn't, the environment suffers. With gasoline prices the way they are, the customer will greatly appreciate a well-tuned engine. And remember, a clean, quiet, well-serviced vehicle will impress your customer. First impressions are lasting impressions. The entire automotive industry admits that service is perhaps the most decisive factor in the customer's purchasing choice. A vehicle delivered in tip-top condition will bring him back as a friend for service and his next car. That is the dealer's role in the Customer Assurance Program. He gets an abbreviated look at what should be done to make sure the customer leaves the dealership a satisfied customer. This is the book that's available for the mechanic. They're given to those who attend classes at the training centers for taking the Customer Assurance course. This book is very comprehensive. It gives the mechanic an insight into what it takes to get a broad grasp of what the checkpoints are, and then moves on to what the inspection points are. Although there are 137 points to cover in the inspection section, there's a procedure section to give the mechanic details on the time-saving way to do it. This is the book the owner gets. We'll cover it when the time is appropriate. Let's get into new cars and what they're all about. Customer assurance begins here, receiving inspection. When the car is unloaded at the dealership, it is very important that each car is checked for broken windows, dents or scratches, missing side mirrors, missing wheel nuts, broken lenses. And tires for chafed sidewalls and so forth. And the engine compartment is checked for missing items under the hood, such as radiator cap, battery caps, air cleaner wing nuts, and so forth. The trunk is checked to see that the spare tire, jack and wrench, antenna mast, wheel covers, and special items listed on the shipper are there. The time to check all these items is when the car is received at the dealership. Ideally, the man assigned to perform the customer assurance inspection will have enough pride in his work to put himself in the shoes of the new owner and consider how he would feel if he ran across a problem. A man like this will be conscientious. Take steps to prevent some of the little things that can upset a customer. It only takes a few minutes to check under the hood. But failure to do so can cause an unsuspecting customer hours of undue grief. The average housewife doesn't know a loose water pump belt can cause an engine to overheat. A dirty windshield is more than an inconvenience. It obstructs the view of oncoming traffic. There is no excuse for a low battery in a brand new car. The proper procedure for checking the battery includes making sure the cable connections are tight, the hold-down clamp nuts are tightened, the secondary ground wire is tight, the battery caps are free from dirt, the electrolyte level of each cell is up, and the state of charge is up to specification. Every inspection point covered in the customer assurance book is important. Some of them, however, are more important than others. Take the brake master cylinder, for instance. A low fluid condition can cause air to be drawn into the brake lines. This, in turn, can cause an erratic brake pedal action. Make sure the level of the fluid is up in every car you inspect. These have just been a few of the inspections covered in the underhood section of the customer assurance book. The body chassis section covers inspection points which show up pretty fast to a customer if they're overlooked. They may seem like little things, but window regulator handles, locking buttons, and misaligned body components and moldings can make a customer wonder if they're getting the quality automobile they paid for. A few minutes' time is a good investment to assure customer satisfaction. Offhand, I'd say someone at the dealership is going to hear about this. The shoulder belt retractor is new this year. It's easier to use because a hard pull on the shoulder belt will not lock the belt as it did on earlier models, and it only takes a moment to check the operation with a special tool. The next series of inspections are performed with the car on a hoist. This is exactly the thing to look for. In this case, a leaking brake line. If something like this was to get by unchecked, it could lead to serious problems in the future. The average customer would not have any idea if the disc brake caliper bolts are torqued correctly, or the retainer clips were installed correctly. Safety plays a big role in customer assurance, so even the little things deserve careful attention. Many customers understand what they can see. For instance, if a tire looks low, they assume it needs air. What many of them don't realize is radial tires have a low profile and may appear to need air even when they're at the proper pressure. Of course, some customers would be perfectly correct in their diagnosis if they complained the headlights were out of alignment when they received the car. The road test is a very important part of the customer assurance inspection. And a conscientious mechanic always makes sure he doesn't have any tools in his pockets before he gets into the car. Before moving, the brake pedal is checked for proper feel and travel. Then the brakes are checked when the car is moving slowly to make sure their operation is smooth and positive. The transmission is checked to make sure it holds in park. And the parking brakes are applied to see that they're holding properly. And the brake warning light comes on. The name of the game during a road test is drivability. Does the accelerator pedal operate freely? Is the throttle linkage adjusted properly? Does the transmission upshift and downshift when it's supposed to? Does the car steer properly? Is the steering wheel centered? Does the engine perform satisfactorily? Is the speedometer working properly? No ticking, squealing, or whirring noises. Does the speed control function properly? These are the kinds of things that are covered during a road test. Also, a road test is the time when the accessories should be checked and the radio buttons are set to local stations and are coming in clearly. And listen for rattles and wind noise. When the mechanic is satisfied the car is performing as it should, there is one final series of inspections to conduct before the car is ready for the new owner. Appearance. A person can put a scratch a day in the finish of a car after they've had it for a while and not think anything about it. But if they get a car from the dealership with even a small nick on it, they want it fixed. But you can't blame them. They're paying for a new car, and they expect it to be in tip-top condition. When a car is ready for delivery, it means someone has taken the time to prepare the car right down to the last item, making sure the steering wheel is clean. Chrysler Motors Corporation provides one of the best warranty programs in the business. They assure the customer they stand behind their product. And this is the dealership's way of saying, we've done the best job we could to make you a satisfied customer. It's an invitation to the customer to evaluate the quality of the vehicle and the condition it was in when he received it. We've done our best to deliver a trouble-free vehicle. However, there are things the owners must do to keep the car running properly. They must comply with the required maintenance services. Remember, a properly prepared car will encourage them to drive in and see us for maintenance, replacement parts, and accessories, or just plain car talk. We speak the language fluently.